Hey, Jim Remley here with eRealEstateCoach.com. I want to talk to you about Zestimates. Now we're coming into the spring and summer market. Seems like it's just around the corner. And what's going to happen during this time of the year is you're going to see Zillow pouring a ton of money into marketing. You're going to see television ads, radio ads, everywhere, online ads, promoting Zestimates and Zillow and all the things that Zillow does. Of course, to an extent, as realtors, we are somewhat at war with Zillow. And we want to make sure that we understand how to combat Zestimates, because that's something that's going to often be on a seller's mind, is the Zestimate. So here's one question. How do you overcome Zestimates? Well, one thing is, ask yourself is, do I have a great CMA system? Are you using systems like Cloud CMA and other systems out there so you have a very beautiful visual presentation of how you're approaching price? That's the number one. You want to make sure you have a great CMA. And then what dialogues are you using to overcome these estimates? So first and foremost, when you go to a seller's house, you certainly want to have gone into Zillow and checked the Zestimate before you arrive, because no doubt they have. Even if you don't bring it up, they may have already looked at it. So they may have used it as a basis and value, so you want to understand what they're looking at. By the way, if you've seen they've made recent adjustments, you know they've been in there and they're thinking the home is worth more because of their adjustments that they've recently made. Something else to think about is using Zillow's own words and own data against them. So this is directly from Zillow. I pulled this down this morning, copied and pasted into this presentation. So what Zillow says about Zestimates is, the Zestimate is a home valuation tool computed using a proprietary formula, meaning an algorithm. It's a mathematical formula. It's not an appraisal, they state that. And it's a starting point in determining a home's value. They encourage buyers, sellers, and homeowners to supplement this information by doing what? Three things. Number one, talking to a realtor and getting a comparative market analysis. Second, getting an appraisal from a professional appraiser. And third, visiting the house. That one right there is huge, because Zillow never goes to anyone's house. They haven't even been to the neighborhood. They haven't even been to the city. They know nothing about the house. They're just using a mathematical algorithm. So something else to pull up is the accuracy report. This is for the entire country. Just type in to your search bar Zillow accuracy report and you can find this data. I pulled this down this morning for my own market. They have the whole country by county in there. So from my county, I'm in Jackson County. They've rated themselves 4 stars, which is crazy to me. But they rated themselves 4 stars. In other words, they perceive themselves as being super accurate with their Zestimate. But when you break it down, only 61% of the time are they within 5% of the sales price. So 39% of the time in my market, they're not even within 5% of the sales price. And then it gets worse from there. Within 10% of the sales price, 79%. Within 20% of the sales price, 88% of the time. And then they have this other number that's very, very misleading, which is this number out here, the 3.4%, the median error rate. Yeah, naturally you'd assume that means, well, they're only off on average 3.4% from the price. That's not what it means. Here's what it means. This is their own words. Half the estimates in an area were closer than the error percentage and half are further off. To put that into layman's terms, what that means is, for example, in Seattle, Zestimates for half the homes are within 4.7% of the selling price, and half are off by more than 4.7%. In other words, they could be off by 80%. They could be off by 90%. They could be off by 100%. They're nowhere near what the house actually sells for. So using their numbers against them and showing clients just how inaccurate Zestimates are can be very powerful. Here's some language. So if I'm with my clients in my town, I'm going to use the data that I just gave you. So I might say this. So Zestimate is just an algorithm. It's not an appraisal. And basically, it's a pricing model applied to every house in the country. Zillow never physically sets foot in any of these properties or even in your neighborhood. In Jackson County, where I live, for instance, they only get to within 5% of value 61% of the time. Imagine any other business saying that to you, saying, oh, we fixed 61% of your car when we worked on it, or we got 61% of your restaurant order right? Or Amazon shipped 61% of the packages you ordered. You would never accept that from anyone else, but we're supposed to accept it from Zillow. What I do is something completely different. And what Zillow actually recommends is I do a complete market analysis, a competitive market analysis to show you what the home is worth by looking at all the comparables in the market and physically looking at them. Here's some short answers. If you want shorter answers, number one, banks won't accept a Zestimate. They're going to require an appraisal, and what we do with our CMA is something very similar to an appraisal. It's like using WebMD. You've probably done that before. It's fun, it's entertaining, but it's almost always wrong. So that's what a Zestimate's like. Or my favorite is, so I checked the Zestimate on my house. It was right about 5 years ago. It's nowhere near right today. So have some fun with it, have conversations, prepare for these conversations, and you're gonna win. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like it and you want to check out more just like it, check out our mastery courses over at eRealEstateCoach.com. We're covering for sale by owners, expired listings, open houses, sphere of influence, business planning, and much, much more. We've also got a great coaching platform called The Path over there, weekly coaching for you. So check it out at eRealEstateCoach.com, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.